it's about Social Security, and I'm really not. I swear I'm not looking for a job. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? So I'm Googling Social Security, one of my great skills. I'm one of the great Googlers on the East Coast. But that is the headline for the post. Great Googler in chief. Chief and Googler, whatever. By the way, I like to have fun at work. We're allowed to laugh, we're allowed to have fun, we're allowed to know each other's families, we're allowed to be normal. How's that? I'm like, what the heck's the commissioner of Social Security? First, nobody said we're calling you if it was about Social Security, so I'm trying to figure it out.
That in which you just heard was audio from Frank Bisignano. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce his last name, who is now the head of Social Security for the Trump administration. Mind you, this guy was hired from Wall Street. And what you heard in that audio was him talking to managers about him getting that job and him not knowing what the heck it is. He had no idea what the head of Social Security was. He probably even know that there was one, knowing him. And he had said that he had to Google what the job entailed right before he really accepted the job or after he was given the job. But they want to talk about black people being DEI hires. Y'all, I just want y'all to understand that the majority of this Trump cabinet, and I would say about 99.9% of them who are in these positions, are not qualified for any of those jobs. This right here is proof of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this article that's going to go into a little bit more detail about what you just heard. The newly sworn in head of Social Security Administration told agency staff that this week that when he was first offered the job in the Trump administration, he wasn't familiar with the position and had to look it up online. Now, see, this is where I have to get on him. Why would you accept a job that you had no knowledge of and you just accepted it? My guess is he probably saw how much it was paying and he said, I'll take it. And that's not how this works. And Social Security is something that a lot of people deal with now. So understand, if he fumbles the ball with Social Security even more than it's already been fumbled, then people are going to come for his head. Frank Bisignano, a former Wall Street executive, said during a town hall with Social Security managers from around the country on Wednesday that he wasn't seeking a position in the Trump administration when he received a call about leading the SSA, but he still took it anyway. So I get a phone call and it's about Social Security, and I'm really not, I swear I'm not looking for a job, Frank said, according to an audio recording of the meeting obtained by ABC News, in which I heard at the beginning. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? So I'm Googling Social Security. One of my great skills. I'm one of the great Googlers on the East Coast. He goes on to say, I'm like, what the heck's the commissioner of Social Security? Said Frank, who now oversees one of the largest federal agencies that's responsible for distributing retirement, disability, and survivor benefits to more than 70 million Americans. Again, he does not need to be there. The fact that he didn't even know what the job entails, no, it should go to someone else. And the fact that he took the job knowing he didn't know what was going on, that sheds a bad light on him. But he took it anyway. He says, put that as the headline for the post. Great Googler in chief and Googler or whatever, said Frank, who throughout the meeting repeatedly bemoaned media leaks from within the agency. So it's like he's not even taking this seriously when he keeps saying, call me Googler in chief or one of the great Googlers of the East Coast. So he's not really taking it seriously, but it is a serious job. It's a very serious position. It's not a cakewalk by any measure. While Bisignano, who previously served as chairman and CEO of financial technology company Fiserv Inc. or Fiserv, brings experience managing large organizations and overseeing complex payment systems to his new role. He has no prior history working in government or with the Social Security system. That could be said about a lot. I mean, look at what they just gave, what job they gave to Dan Bongino. They made him the head of Secret Service or whatever that was, and he came from having a podcast. I mean, look at what they gave, what's his name, the one that's always drunk all the time, he came from Fox News and he got put in a position he shouldn't have been in. See, this is what I mean. They're putting personalities in these positions. Let me guess. Frank is a fan of Trump. He's MAGA. So if you're a fan of Trump and you're MAGA and you're white or white adjacent, for the most part, you can get a job. That's what, to me, this is boiling down to. And they got the nerve to sit up there and call black people DEI all the damn time. Amazing. A Social Security official told ABC News that Frank is working to transform the agency into a premier service organization. I don't know how he's going to do that, and he didn't even know what the job stood for. He even know what the job was. He is visiting offices and meeting employees to hear their ideas for how the agency can better serve customers in person, on the telephone, and online. As the commissioner evaluates the agency, he has been clear that SSA will have the right staffing to deliver Americans their hard-earned benefits. Clearly, Commissioner Frank Bisignano was poking fun at himself so that everyone in the room felt comfortable having an open conversation about improving service for the American people. Sure. They say poking fun at themselves. That was them being serious. That was Frank being very serious. He just said it in a joking way. White House spokesperson Liz Houston said in a statement to ABC News, Commissioner Bisignano brings a valuable and much needed outside perspective to the Social Security Administration. Commissioner Bisignano proven success in the financial services industry uniquely positions him to lead the Trump administration's common sense efforts to modernize the agency and improve its efficiency. I noticed that they use that kind of terminology with all those other unqualified people, and look at how it turned out. So I'm expecting the same from him. I'm expecting no different. In Wednesday's 90-minute call, Frank sought to calm concerns about the future of the agency amid recent leadership turnover and scrutiny from Elon Musk's government-slashing Department of Government Efficiency known as DOGE. He told the managers in the meeting that Social Security was, quote, not going away, adding that President Trump also agrees with that. This is America's, safety net. It's not going away. And hopefully you hear me say this every day. You know who wants me to tell people that? Guess, the president, again, spoken like a true fan. He says, I've gotten notes about will the turmoil of the last 5 months end? Are you here to cause more turmoil? I don't think it's a turmoil of the past 5 months, although I will be the fifth since November, right? Bisignano said, referring to being the fifth person put in charge of the critical agency since Trump was reelected in November. He says, are we having fun yet? Are we okay? He asked on those calls. Wait a minute, the fifth person put in charge since Trump was in? Then who was the previous four? Because that part I did not know. KG, if you out there listening, did you know that there was 4 other people in that position before him? That means all of them were unqualified too. If that's the case, the turnover rate is high over there. Bisignano told the managers that they needed to believe that DOGE was, quote, helping to make things better, even if it may not felt that way. Who's heard of DOGE? Raise your hand. Your bias has to be because mine is. DOGE is helping making things better. It may not feel that way, but don't believe everything that you read. He said DOGE will be involved in rebuilding the Social Security website and integrating artificial intelligence into the agency's phone support systems. The head of the agency also told managers that SSA must adopt a, quote, digital-first mindset to meet the expectations of the American public, comparing the agency to how consumers interact with tech giants like Amazon. Understand, he is the head of Social Security, where that is affecting a lot of people who are older, and especially those coming from maybe not this generation, but the ones before us. Some of them are not that technically inclined, so that means a lot of them are just going to fall by the wayside. If he does the whole digital first thing, unless y'all plan on lowering the retirement age so people who are of a certain generation can adapt to it faster. But then again, I highly doubt that's going to happen. He says you're competing with experiences that people have with Amazon. So if I could get something done at Amazon, why can't I get something done the same way with Social Security? That's how people think. Bisignano officially joins the agency following months of upheaval at the SSA, which has been a revolving door, which ironically I just said earlier, of leadership amid Doge's sweeping efforts to overhaul the agency by modernizing its operation and cutting costs. Among the changes Doge is pushing are staff reassignments, digital infrastructure overhauls, and the controversial outsourcing of certain administrative functions, according to sources. Bisignano also said he does not intend to implement reductions in force or RIFs at the agency, at least for now. He says, I have no intent to RIF people, because that's the big question, he said. When the Wall Street veteran was named Trump's pick to lead the agency, he faced backlash from Democrats and activists who claimed his selection threatened the future of the Social Security program. In early May, lawmakers, union leaders, and activists protested his selection outside the U.S. Capitol ahead of the Senate vote on this nomination. On Wednesday's call, Frank appeared to revel the news. He says, did you guys know there was a protest against me? Who knows? Who knew there was a protest against me? He says, I like that protest. I want to prove them so wrong. Man, this is going to be the most fun I ever had. He says, he goes on to say, I mean, think of that. A poor boy from Brooklyn, from a multi-generational household with a dad who worked in the federal government, and senators picketing that I'm going to ruin it. He said, no way, make it great, right? See, even reading that, I can tell it's just something, a vibe that I'm getting from just reading that, and even hearing how he sounded in the audio, that, yeah, they're going to revolve that door again, and there's going to be a sixth person there. Bisignano during the call returned several times to his concerns about leaks to the press, suggesting that he would sniff them out. He lastly says, my father was a DA and I'm a detective at heart, so I can figure stuff out, he said. He talks like a child. He talks like a straight up kid. But that's the article right there. And yeah, I think we're cooked. I think we are fried right now. But I did some Googling too, because I wanted to know exactly what did this position entail. So the stuff that I'm about to read to you now, Frank Bisignano probably read or Googled the same thing, since he says he's one of the great Googlers of the East Coast, whatever the heck that is. So I went and Googled, what does the head of Social Security do? Basically, what is his job? It says the Commissioner of Social Security oversees the administration of all Social Security programs, including retirement, disability, and survivor benefits. They provide executive leadership to the Social Security Administration, also known as the SSA. This involves managing the agency's operations, ensuring program integrity, and representing the SSA to the public and other government entities. The Commissioner also works with the Deputy Commissioner to oversee the major components of the SSA. So that's pretty much a summarized version of it. But then I went and looked up what a more detailed breakdown of what the job entails, and I think that's the meat of it all. So the detailed breakdown of the position he has: one, it says program and administration. It says the commissioner is responsible for ensuring the smooth and efficient operation of all Social Security programs. Policy and strategy: the commissioner plays a key role in developing and implementing Social Security policies and strategies. Public representation: the commissioner represents the SSA in various forms, including media appearances, congressional testimony, and meetings with other government agencies. Budgetary management: the commissioner oversees the agency's government and ensures that it is used effectively. Employee management: the commissioner is responsible for hiring, managing, and evaluating the SSA's employees. Data management: the commissioner ensures the accurate and secure handling of Social Security. And the last one, program integrity: the commissioner is responsible for preventing and detecting fraud and abuse within the Social Security system. And as I read all of those things, I'm telling you right now, it will be a surprise to me if he is here a year from now. You know what? 6 months from now, considering that he's the fifth person in that position, and they said that they've had that position rotate for previous times since November, and we're talking November of 2024, and it is now May 2025. Not even a whole year with just at least one of them. But you had 4 of them come in, and he's number 5. That's why I said I'll be surprised if he lasts 6 months. I'm not even going to give it a year, because the others didn't last a year. So there you have it, y'all. We have yet another unqualified individual in this position, in a position in this cabinet, in this administration, for reasons. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next one.